Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Happy Sunday. I thought this would be a great palette to show you guys. This one is perfect if you want something easy, if you want something that's not too dramatic, but if you want something that you could actually add a little bit more to. It's kind of like, it's really versatile. Good morning, Sarah. And you can go ahead and use it in many different ways, and it shouldn't be too scary for you. So I am Mandy with Makeup Mandy. If you do not see that live button up there, that means you are watching the replay. If you're popping on like Sarah is right now, hello, then please come say hi. Happy Sunday, everybody. Reach out and touch somebody. Tell them that you're here. Tell them that you're watching. Tell them that you find some value in the work that they are doing. So, Plain Jane palette. So this is really great because this is laid back, idealistic, fervent, and marvelous. And the reason why I like this is because you can do this a very soft look, or you can go ahead and turn this into a smoky eye. You can use this in many different ways. So today we're just gonna go ahead and do a traditional eye look with this, and have it be something that I think anybody and everybody can use and would enjoy. So you start off with a little bit of eye primer. Now, sometimes you guys see me use concealer as an eye primer. Sometimes you see me use the actual eye primer. Thank you, Sarah. I think it's going to be a great one. They're really, they're used in different ways for different things. For in this scenario, I do not feel the need that I need to neutralize the eye color. Sometimes if my eyes are really red, I'll use the concealer. Sometimes if it's something where I really want it to be like a light dark contrast, I'll use the concealer to kind of highlight that lightness. But today I think that what we're working with here, we can make this work. So I call this the Plain Jane palette, and I love it. It's one of my go-tos. It's one of my favorites. I've used this palette on many different skin tones. I think it goes with everybody and anybody. When you look at this when you look at this one, I don't necessarily think of this one going with red hair, but it actually works really well. And of course, most anything goes with blonde and brunettes and black hair. So this one is really available for all different skin tones and hair colors. Okay. So I am going to start with Laid Back. So Laid Back is the lightest one here that I'm going to show you. I'm just kind of cleaning off my brush as we talk. I sprayed them with the brush cleaner, and I'm just making sure that I got all that brush cleaner off. So this one right here is Laid Back, and you'll notice that when it goes on, it actually has kind of a I'm gonna say translucent. I'm not sure if that's the word I really want to use, but as you can tell, it doesn't have a lot of color. It's not opaque. It's a little bit see-through, translucent maybe, but you can see that color is still going on. And what I really like about this is it has a little tiny bit of shimmer to it. I call it a satin, and just barely, so it just kind of reflects that that light just a little bit. Okay, so you notice how I'm packing it onto my eyelid, I packed it onto my upper brow, but then I kind of just brushed it around that entire lid. Okay, now the reason why I did that was because I put that eye primer on, which is really great because it grabs onto the color, but it also does make the eye a little bit tacky, so when it comes to blending, it could be a little bit difficult. And this one, I want it to be a really soft blend, so that is why I went ahead and brushed Laid Back over the entire lid. Okay, all right. So now we're going to come in with Idealistic, and I'm going to take my fluffy crease brush. This is going to be our transition color. So let me get started. Okay, so my fluffy crease brush, I'm going to come in with this one right here, our Idealistic. Now remember that when you're grabbing your color, the first place that you touch that brush is where the majority of that product is going to sit. So I come in very gently. I'm grabbing my my mirror here because sometimes it's difficult to see in the camera. And I'm going above that crease. See how where my crease is and how that color is not going in there? I'm going on the brow bone and above the crease. Reason being is I don't want to focus all my color in that crease because when my eyes are open, I want you to be able to see the eyeshadow color that I'm using here. Okay. So let's go ahead and blend that in. You can grab a little bit more if you'd like. Hello everybody joining. So yesterday I went to Tuolumne. If you're from California, then I'm sure you know, or at least I've heard of Tuolumne. I didn't actually know exactly where it was, but there is a Black Oak Casino. And so we went there. It was about a 2-hour drive, and they had, we had company training. It was really awesome. It was awesome because it started off as a small team training that is out in that area. And it kind of grew and it kind of grew. And then some really top leaders that are on the team decided that they were going to fly out, and they're from Texas and New Mexico. And so then when everybody found out they were coming, then even more people wanted to come out. And then corporate came out, and that was really amazing. We didn't really know that corporate was coming. And they talked about the Unique Foundation, and I thought that was the best part. So the Unique Foundation is not the foundation that we use to cover blemishes on your face, but it is why this company was created. It was created to fund a healing process. And so the Unique Foundation has a week-long retreat that once you get there, it's absolutely free. You do have to get there. There's one in Utah, and we just opened a brand new location in Georgia. And it's for women who were sexually abused as a child or as an adolescent. And it is to help start that healing process for you. And anybody can go. Do not need to be a unique presenter to go. Anybody can go. You do have to fill out an application, and you have to meet some certain requirements. And then unfortunately there is a wait list right now because of the number of people who can go at any given time. But they came out and they talked to us about the Unique Foundation a little bit more. And so right now I'm grabbing Marvelous, which is that dark brown. Here, let me show you this one right here. And I'm using my crease brush. So the first one was my fluffy crease brush, but this is my regular crease brush. So I just pulled some of that product off because I felt like it might be too dark. So this one, I'm actually gonna go just barely above that crease, that fold in my natural eye shape, just barely above that crease. And kind of blend it in like that. Okay, now I'm gonna use another color. I'm gonna use Fervent and that fluffy crease brush again to blend it in. So if it's a little bit harsh right at the beginning, it's perfectly fine because we're going to blend it a little bit more. So during the conversation about the Unique Foundation, it was really pointed out, hey Kim, it was really pointed out that it's our responsibility as presenters to make sure people know that this opportunity is out there for them. So if you or anybody that you know was sexually abused as a child or as an adolescent, the uniquefoundation.org is where you should go. And there is what's the right word? There are things there. I'm looking for a word. There are resources. There are resources there to help you start your healing process, but that's also where you will find the application to go to the retreat. I have met with a couple different people who have gone to the retreat, and every single one of them, so I'm grabbing my fluffy crease brush and I'm grabbing Fervent right here. Every single one of them has said that their life changed the moment that they went. That they began to heal. They began to realize that they are worth it, that it wasn't their fault that things happened to them. They're not broken. They're not gross. They don't, have something wrong with them, and that they do matter. And I just want you guys to know that there are resources out there. And let's say you were not impacted by this, although 1 in 5 out of all people, 1 in 5, male or female, 1 in 5 has been sexually abused as a child or as an adolescent, and those are reported cases. Those aren't even all the cases. Okay. So I will tell you, of women, it's 1 in 4, and I am 1 of 4. And, everybody handles trauma differently, and everybody goes through a different type of trauma as well. So the uniquefoundation.org, please check it out. Please know that you don't ever have had to have purchased a single thing. You don't have to be a presenter. It's 100% free once you get there. 2 different locations, Utah and Georgia. And also know that as a customer, anytime you round up your purchases, that helps fund the retreat. It costs about $2,800 for one person, to send one person through the retreat. And again, it's free to you if you go. But it does cost about $2,800 to go to the retreat. And 1/3 of all funding for the retreat needs to come from a public place. So when you round up your orders with Unique, so like if you purchase a mascara and it comes to, let's say your order with shipping and everything comes to $34.23, they will ask you, do you want to round up to the nearest dollar? And so you pay a total of $35. And that change goes to the Unique Foundation. And so 1/3 of all funding has to come from a public source, and then 2/3 are allowed to come from individual donations. And so that would be like our founders personally donating, which they do. They fund. It's not always 2/3 of it. Sometimes other private people come in and fund it, but other times they do, that the founders actually do. So I just wanted you just to know that this is out there, this is available to you, and when you do choose to round up, that is where your money is going to. It's helping to send a lady through the retreat to start her healing process. And it's really great because we watched this video. Oh my gosh, I was in tears. So I'm grabbing my blue. It's called a navy blue, but it looks a little tealish to me. And it is Presumptuous. And these women who have gone through this, and then a lady at my table when I went to training yesterday, she did tell us that she went through the retreat, and that it was life-changing to her. And she says that the way she put it is, not only did it change my life, but it changed my family tree's life, because she said that when I was able to heal, I was able to have, I'm grabbing my liner brush, I was able to heal relationships with other people in my family, my husband, my kids, and so forth, and that it changed not just her, her life, but her whole entire family's life by going through this retreat. One of the gentlemen who spoke from corporate yesterday, I did not know, I'd never heard the story before, but his wife was sexually abused as a child, and he said that even though that they were, young love, and have been married for 30 plus years now, that it had always impacted their relationship, and it truly impacted her relationship that she had with her sons, and that she went through the retreat, and he said that their entire life changed. So it's just the same thing that we hear over and over, is that when you can begin a healing process and understand that you are not broken, that it is not your fault, that you are not gross, that you are worthy of everything, you're worthy of all the amazing opportunities that this life has for you. And that when you realize those things, that the impact that it has, not just on you, but everybody who is connected with you. So if you know anybody who could benefit, it's called theuniquefoundation.org. Please go to the website. Please check it out. Please read through the resources. There's also a website called Defend Innocence, which is another portion of what the Unique Foundation does, and it helps to keep children safe. It helps you as a parent learn how you can defend the innocence of the children in your life, and how you can have conversations with them, because the more often the person who is sexually abusing the child is actually somebody who is trusted to be around that person. It's not a stranger. It's somebody who is part of your family, a family friend, somebody that is trusted to be around the child. And so the child, sometimes believes that if they speak up, if they, they don't like what's happening to them and they speak up, that somebody will hurt them or hurt, their family members, because they were told this. Sometimes they think that that's just how. I heard this one woman speak, who went through the foundation. She is a presenter, and she spoke at one of the trainings, and she said that her abuse happened at such an early age, and happened so frequently that she thought that that's what was expected. Like, she didn't know that other families didn't treat their siblings and the kids in their family that way. Like, that's what she thought her life was for. Like, that's what she thought that girls were born to be. And that is just horrific. I mean, her whole story, I mean, it was just horrific. But when you realize that you can step into your greatness, that you can shine, because that's another thing that sometimes happens with people who have been abused, is that they think if they, I don't know where my mascara went, if they shrink, if they stay hidden, that they won't be seen and they won't be abused. And I'm sure that happens a lot of times in families. If somebody is the abuser, if you can stay hidden from that person, if you can stay away from that person, then I'm sure you're going to be abused less, right? And so they become like a wallflower, really shy, really hidden, wants to stay in the background. I have another one of my trainers, my mentors, I should say. She is not with Unique, but she mentors people within Unique. And she explains how she's always had a weight problem her entire life. And the reason is she felt that if she became big and heavy, that she would be gross, and that her abuser would no longer want to abuse her. And so that was, she's in her 50s now, and she has constantly lost weight, and as soon as she loses a certain amount of weight, she gains it all back. And so it wasn't until she started the healing process of being abused that it became apparent to her why she had that, why she would gain it all back. And it was a security blanket, right? Like, and so, so there's a lot of trauma out there. There's a lot of trauma, and people handle it in different ways. So theuniquefoundation.org, please go to it. Please check it out. Even if you are personally not impacted, or you don't know anybody who's personally impacted, if you start listening to stories, if you start hearing people speak, you might hear somebody who needs to know about this website. So please learn about it, go to it, and please share it with people that you know. I was speaking to somebody who handles, who is involved with domestic violence outreach. And so I told her about the website. You know, even though domestic violence isn't directly the same thing as childhood and adolescent sexual abuse, but sometimes those paths can cross, right? So I explained to her, like I reached out to her, I told her all about it. I gave her the website and I said, please keep this in the back of your mind whenever you're speaking with people. It might be something that they need, okay? So I appreciate that. If you can share that around, it's free. Remember, to go to the retreat is free. You do need to get yourself there. But it's amazing. It's amazing. And I've seen, I have a few Y sisters who have gone through, so a presenter who have gone through the process. And I have one that's very, very dear to me. And she went through the process. Ugh, I just got mascara on my face again. I'm telling you guys, this is like a problem all of a sudden. I can't keep the mascara off my face and I don't know why. Like why? Like I was doing fine for so long about keeping the mascara on my lashes, and now all of a sudden I can't for like the last 2-3 weeks. Anyway, I will tell you that the way I see her interacting, she's already gone through the retreat. So the way I see her interacting with her friends, the way she's interacting with her family is completely different, and the way she's speaking to herself is completely different. She's not negatively speaking to herself. And I think that that was one of the things that I could tell really changed. And you know that when you feel, when one area of your life is not working out, when things are going wrong in one area, it absolutely impacts the rest of your life. It absolutely does. You can't have something negatively happening in one area of your life and it not impact your entire world. So healing that part of you, even if you don't, even believe that you're still having problems, you never know what is being suppressed. The mind does amazing things to try to heal itself and protect itself. But, if you find yourself making poor decisions, self-sabotaging decisions, decisions that make you feel really bad about yourself, these are all symptoms of somebody who has had the trauma and has not been able to deal with it. So check it out. I had somebody, a friend who actually just went on the website yesterday, and it's not something that you have, that you get an immediate, like if you go and you fill out the paperwork, there's a wait list, okay? And there's a process that they have to go through. And there's conversations that you have with them ahead of time before you are accepted into the program. So know that just because you might go right now to fill out the paperwork, you are not committing to going right now. Okay, so don't be afraid. Don't think, oh, now's not the right time to go, or maybe I'm not ready to go, or you're just scared to go. Just know that it's not going to be tomorrow that you're leaving. It's going to be a little while. It's going to be a few months. So you have time to work through whatever hardships that you might be having right now, any concerns that you might be having right now. You have time to work through that and until it's time for you to actually go to the retreat. Okay. All right. So you guys saw when I was applying this makeup, I curled my lashes and then I applied primer. And the primer I really, really like. It's a new product for us, and I think everybody who wears mascara needs the primer as well. So the primer conditions your lashes. It goes on white, but it does dry clear. And I like that because I've heard other primers. I had never used a lash primer before, but I had heard other primers. The biggest problem that people had with them is that the white in the primer was so difficult to cover up with your mascara. Okay, so that doesn't happen here with this primer. It covers up very nicely because it dries clear. The other thing is it conditions your lashes. So it's making your lashes healthier and stronger. And obviously, healthier and stronger lashes are going to grow longer and be fuller. Okay, so this is going to help your lashes. Also, the primer adds like volume to your lashes, so when you put the mascara over the primer, it's making it thicker, so it's like it makes your lashes appear thicker and then longer as well, so it builds. So I was just using the Epic waterproof mascara today, but this works really well with the 4D as well. So if you're using the 4D and you're building the lashes, then the primer is really going to help with that as well. Now, the other thing with this is it's almost like a hairspray for your lashes. So if you have lashes that don't curl very easily or don't hold the curl very easily, then when you put that primer on after you curl your lashes and you put that primer on, it like almost holds it exactly where it's at, okay? So those lashes are going to stay curled all day. I think that's it. So this was the Plain Jane. Thank you guys for listening to my story about the Unique Foundation as well. And please share that with people you know. Please, it's so important. And so here was the Plain Jane palette that we used today. Very simple, happy Sunday look. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. You can soften it up. You can make it a little bit bold by using more of that Marvelous, which is that dark brown. You also could do a smoky eye with it. It'd be really, really pretty to use these colors as the smoked out. You can still use that as a little bit of a transition and then laid back at the very top of your, like by your eyebrow and then in the corner of your eyes. It'd be really, really pretty. So this is very versatile, and it also is on sale right now, okay? Hi, Jamie. See, Jamie has been like putting together palettes for her. It's so funny. She's like up to like 3 palettes that she wants now, right? And I love this one because you could, if you wanted to get 2 separate palettes, because they are on sale right now, you could get this as one of them, and then you can get like a little bit darker brown to mix in, or you can get some shimmers that go along with any one of these colors. You could really, so then you can just mix and match the 2 different palettes together. Okay, so that's really good too. All right, so let me know. Please, please, please reach out to me if you would like me to help pick colors, eyeshadows for you. This is the Jane Plain palette that I made up. We have a sale right now. We have, I think, 52 different eyeshadows, and you get to pick any 4 of them and grab a mascara, and it's like 25% off, something like that. Pretty darn amazing. And it is our 7th anniversary with Unique, and so it comes with a anniversary palette. It's a little bit different than this. It has like some like sparkles on it, really pretty. And then depending on what mascara you get, the packaging, if you get the Epic black mascara, the packaging will be that same, that matches this. And you get a makeup bag with it. That's super cute. And I saw somebody holding the bag next to their head, and the bag was bigger than their head. It was like pretty awesome. So I'm expecting my bundle to come in any day now, so I can show you all of that information. But in the meantime, Plain Jane palette, I'm gonna grab just a little bit more to soften this up right here, and I'm using this big brush because I feel like it really like helps blend it with whatever shadow you have right there at the top. Just something that I have actually kind of used out of being lazy one time, and then found out that it works. So this is the powder concealer brush is what this one is called, and that's what I just used to blend that top, to soften that up. That's it. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions, and your call to action, because I like to give you guys an action, is message me and let me help you pick your eyeshadows. If it's going to be anything like it was last month with the kudos, everybody waited until the very last day and everybody wanted to be color matched, and it took a lot of time, a lot of energy, and I'm not sure that I actually got to everybody in time to order their kudos. So if you think that you might be interested in that kudos, message me now and we can help pick your eyeshadows. and then you can just sit on it. You don't even have to order it right now, but at least you'll know what colors you're gonna get. So when you do decide to get those colors, you are all set and ready to go. So this is the contour trio. What is this called? Sculpting trio. That I pulled out of my arsenal and have been using again once I realized that it was so awesome. And I'll fix that area that I had to, that got mascara on. So that's it. Hope you guys have a fabulous day. Message me, reach out to me. I will help you pick eyeshadows for your eye color, for an event that you might have, for whatever reason. And I will see you guys later. Bye.